all of my plants in one video. It's finally time again for a houseplant tour. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Roos. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a plant lover from the Netherlands. Today I'm going to show you all around my house to show you all of my plants. I do still have COVID, so I'm a little bit out of breath already from this first sentence. We're gonna push through. I'll try and have the labels up on the screen for you. And as always, I'm starting upstairs, which I don't have many plants here. If you don't know, my house is from 1900. It's very old, very adorable, but very badly insulated. So it gets very cold up here and plants don't like it. So we have my Hoya Matilda that I will show you up close in a second. We have Hoya Supermoy. This was the first Hoya that I successfully grew, so it has a special place in my heart. It's a really easy grower. It's very fast. I've shared a lot of cuttings with friends, and it's probably a Marilli, but it didn't have a label when I got it, so we called it Hoya species and then Supermoy, which means very, very pretty. There is Maggie coming to say hello in our mess of a house. Sorry, I didn't clean anything up today because I don't have the energy. And also in this window, I have my lemon lime Maranta, which has been struggling a little bit. I think it had a pest while it was up here. It normally lives in that corner, but it got a little bit too dark. So I have it right in front of my south-facing window right now. And honestly, I don't know. I like this plant a lot. It's very easy normally, but I think I've ignored it too long and just not super happy. I'm reminding myself not to talk too long about all the plants because then it's going to be a very long video. Up here we have my fern, which is very sad. I think I let it dry out too much. And then here is the Hoya Matilda, which this year has not flowered. Last year it had like 28 flowers. Maybe it needed a recovery year, like me. But it's very cute. It always has some mealybugs, but it's doing well still. I mean, it's not dead, so. In this little room, this is our clothing and study desk room with a lot of mess as well. The only plants I have in here is my begonia terrarium, which is also not looking great. I've ignored this for more than a year. Maybe I should just throw it away. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Oh, and look, it's pictures of our baby cats. This is still with their brother and sister. And this is them when they just came to us. So adorable! Outfit of the day, sweatbands and my Planty sweater. Me. Above our bed, I used to have plants, but that does not have enough light. So I'm thinking about putting some grow lights up here so that these shelves can actually carry plants again. And some pictures from our trip to Croatia. Maggie's ready for some fresh water. Come on, Max. Our cats are so fancy, they prefer water from the tap. Fresh tap water. Then here next to my boyfriend's surfboards, or actually behind, we have the terrarium magnificum. Can you see it? This is the one, there's too many boards here. This is the one with the markings that I think has some kind of disease. So basically I'm ignoring it and I think I'm gonna throw it away soon. Mickey also came over to say hello. Hello, friends. And then my begonia terrarium, which has been struggling a lot. So let me show you inside. So this is begonia jibui. That one is doing well. It has flowers. We're sitting here editing and I noticed that because I'm holding the lid of my terrarium up all the time while I'm filming the begonias, because I can't open it fully here, it's creaking throughout the audio. So I'm really sorry about that. But after I finish filming this begonia terrarium, the audio will be increased again. And Maggie says hi. Begonia Raja is also doing well, looking beautiful. But then this is my begonia negrosensis, which was beautiful before. I think I have to propagate it and save it. Begonia rosea punctata also has been struggling. I let it dry out too much. Actually, I recently closed off these bits because I noticed it was getting way too dry in here, which is also why this one is just a stick now. I don't even know what that was, some kind of hybrid. This one is coming back slowly. This one still looks okay, but it's not grown a lot. Chlorosticta. Oh, this one is horrible. This was my species Sarawak, I think it is. Well, that's not very happy. There's just a lot that I can't really tell what they were because they are not very happy. Sorry for the weird noises, but I'm holding the thingy open because then the light is best. This is Metagroa. This is a melanobulata that my mom actually grew from a cutting from my old plant, and I got a cutting back. So she rescued mine because mine died. Good job, Mom. Don't forget to believe your mums. And then this one is, look at this. So sad. Species Kalimantan. I don't know why. I think it has to do with the humidity, but that can't just be it, right? Some of the other ones are fine. I don't know. I think this needs some attention and probably also some water. So I'm just going to pour this into the perlite to keep the humidity a bit higher. Actually, I think it has something to do with the heat mat that I put under here for winter. Since then, I unplugged it, so should be better now. So it looks like that one might be coming back, actually. Can you see that? There's a new leaf that looks happy. So maybe it was the heat mats and it's recovering now. Halfway down is our messy, messy attic with some of my orchids. This is my little jewel orchid terrarium that I built in a video. The only ones surviving are these 3. So it's not going really well. Or there's one more there. That one also looks okay. And then this one died, but that already was struggling before I put it in here. This is not looking amazing, I know. All the way down, we're now in the kitchen where Mickey is begging for some fresh food. I have a few plants here, not a lot either. So we have this dusty fern. This is named something like a kangaroo paw fern. And it's thriving in this weird spot on the wall here. Over on this side, I'll climb up so you can see better. I have one of my only epipremnums left, Epipremnum neon. These are some cuttings that I have in water because I had a whole plant here and it was all just bare stem, super ugly. So now I have the tops rooting in water so it can look pretty again. Next to that, my regular philodendron heart-shaped leaves, so scandens. And that is, I mean, it's alive and growing, but you can see the leaves are quite small at the bottom because it's hanging down. It doesn't have support, it's away from the light, so it's not thriving. Then we have my little Hoya linears. Well, little, it is not, but it is struggling. It hasn't grown a lot in the past year. There's mealybug issues. See, very sticky grossness, but it's still, I think we can still rescue it, right? I'm not going to give up on it, even though it's very annoying. I'm going to put some of the good bugs over to this side because I have the good bugs on the other side of the room. And then lastly on this little shelf is my Ruby, is her name. This is my Alocasia cuprea. And here is a few more new leaves. This is one of my older plants. You can see it could definitely do with a repot. This I prefer to have underground, these long stems, because it just looks nicer, but also that gives the plant the option to grow little baby seedlings in the ground. And then up here we have 2 big anthurium boxes. Hold on, I'm gonna climb up. Okay, there we go. Now we have a full view, because here I have another heat mat with some projects. This is cuttings of Vicky, the verrucosum, that are not doing anything. This is my little begonia propagation box. Well, nothing successful is in there currently. I could make some fresh cuttings. I have some space now. These are some Hoya cuttings that I think are not going to do anything. They were cuttings without leaves and I wanted to check if that could work. I don't think it has, honestly, but I don't want to throw it away just yet. Then this is all very not exciting. That's why it's up here. This is a little runner. I don't know if you can see it. Yes, there. A little runner right there of Obliqua, the Peru version. So the real holy one. And I think it's actually growing. Wait, that's the first time I'm seeing growth on this. Can you see? There's a little green point. I've had it in here since the summer. So July, and it is now January. So it's been a really long time, but it's definitely doing something finally. That's exciting. Okay, it's not completely useless just yet. We have some pots with Alocasia corms in here that are not doing anything. This one fell once, so they're all jumbled up, but I'm just gonna leave them be, see what happens in the future. Wait, this one is open. And then the only successful cuttings that are here are this begonia. It's a very, very cool one. I forgot the name, but I'll put it on the screen. This is a leaf cutting that I got from my friend. And as you can see, it's going very well. All of them have taken. There's all new babies. I love that you can do this with begonia. Look at how many plants. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's at least 10 plants growing from just one leaf that my friend gave me off his new plant. That's very cool. I love this possibility. It does take a while. I got this after the Botanica market, so that was sometime in October, I think, and it's now January, so it's been a while, but it's worth it. If you just put it somewhere where you don't see it and you wait, then you have 10 very cool new plants that you can grow out and share with your friends. So I love begonia. They're so easy and fun and beautiful. Maggie! Maggie came over to check what we're doing up here because this is normally her spot. She loves to walk around here at the attic. It's like, why are you up here? Bye, Max! Then, I don't know, I think I'm gonna do a separate video showing you all that's in here. But this is my one anthurium. Well, it's not just anthurium, but one of my prop boxes that's not so full. Lots of seedlings in here. And then the other one is this. Wait, can we see down here? There's Alfonso the Forgetti. There's some hybrids. This is my black jack something something. And that's a mini Reggie, a little regal that's growing a new leaf, so that's exciting. And in the front is some babies as well, but they're all pointing towards the window. So I don't know if you can see, it's a bit scratchy. What happened here? Did a cat try and get in? So that will be more in detail in another video. Let's go down. In the rest of the kitchen, we have this box I'll show you, the big terrarium, my Hoya shelves, and this very also sad fern. I feel like the ferns are so easy that I ignore them a lot. It's one of those crocodile ones that just does not get a lot of light here, but it's surviving, so we're just gonna leave it. The shelves are a bit of a mess. I did notice recently that I have flat mites on my Hoya, on some of my Hoya. Not a lot, so it's not too bad. Oh, there's a mealybug eater, see him? One of my good bugs. And this is my, oh, sorry for the light. This is my Florida Beauty cutting that just struggled a lot. So now I put it in water just a few days ago. Hopefully that's gonna help. So this linearis, I was gonna throw it out because it's literally stiff with disgustingness from mealybugs. But then it flowered for like a month. So that's why I kept it. It won me back. This is an amaryllis that actually should probably be somewhere else. You know why I really like this? This was in my botanical garden volunteering package for Christmas. And look, oh, it wants water. Jeez, it's a good thing we're looking at it. It's dry. But look at these roots. They all grew all these fresh roots. I'm gonna give it some water now. And I'm gonna put it here in my living room because it looks like the flowers are gonna open in the next few weeks. That also gives us a bit more space to see the plants that are here. This little terrarium is my philodendron terrarium. We have the Brontianum. We have the Domesticum variegata that's gone almost, wait, can we see? Almost fully yellow, so that might need some intervention. This looks like thrips damage on the Glorious that's here. So that's not good, but I put some good bugs in here, so I think we can handle it. Then we have a Soderini or something. What is the name of that hybrid? Majestic or something. In there, there's also some fungus growing, which I don't mind. So this is a bit of a mess, but not enough of a mess to intervene right now. I think I'm gonna leave it. All these pots that you see like this are begonia propagations. There is a begonia Raja baby in here, and I have a few more spread out. Then I also have a lot of Haworthia cooperi, which is a very nice glass plant, basically, like a very cool succulent that I'm going to share with my friends. I have some Alocasia corms that someone said they grow in water, so that's why I potted these up in water. I have different experiments with them. And some cuttings that I put in water here. This is a philodendron Burlmarks Fantasy and something else that I forgot. Down here, these are some corms that have come up. I don't know exactly. I think maybe it's Aslani. Then we have my silver dragon here that's struggling. Next to it was a black velvet. That was a Malo. These are all very sad, as you can see. This was my Clepiolata, and it is growing a new leaf, so it's not dead. Alcasia Malo, the bigger one that I recently got. Also not looking great. I put it in Leca, but yeah, I don't know. It's not going well. Oh, Alocasia aslani. Also, this is just, I think, an old leaf dying off. It did grow these after being dyed back fully. As you can see, this is a whole struggle bus of shit happening here. There is my one and only orchid back there. Oh, this has grown a new leaf, but it's covered in a huge mealybug as well. Look at that, that's a big one. This is a splendid, the base of my splendid Spencer. Let's see, what else? Oh, it's messy. We have Hoya fungi, which is awesome and beautiful, but also covered in mealybugs. Sorry, those lights do the flashiness, and that's annoying. Then we have a little box here, which actually has some very nice plants in it. This is my tricolor Syngonium thingy. There is a very nice terrarium hybrid. It's hard to see because there's dust everywhere. There is a Philodendron Burlmarks Fantasy cutting there. It's growing a new leaf. And then we have my Monstera adansoni yellow variegation cuttings that are growing well. I like these. They're not too difficult. I'm happy. Oh, and Anthurium is a Affinity Bassier hybrid. There's a new leaf there. Do you see? So these shelves are just pretty depressing. I don't look at them very often. We have a little Michaelwitziana Maxkowski here. We have this Hoya, which is beautiful. This is Hoya flagellata. It's growing okay. Hoya viola down there. That was dragon scale alocasias, I think. In this box, we have one Amphioxus begonia in water, a cutting. And then this is Philodendron gigas that I isolated in a bag so that it could have humidity to climb up the pole. It seems like it's growing okay. It's on the pole. It has a new leaf, but it's hard to see. See? Very nice and pink, these new leaves. So that also looks very ugly because it's in the bag. So I'm hoping that this ugliness will do better again in spring, look better again in spring, but for now it's how we survive winter. So it's okay. The top shelf is my favorite one. It looks the best also still. This is where I'm growing some moss successfully, I might add. I figured it out. It was just a humidity issue, also in the terrarium. Then we have a lot of Hoya. In the back there is Hoya callistophila, which shows clear signs of having flat mites, which I am treating with good bugs for now. If it continues like this in spring, I'll try a sulfur treatment like my friends do, maybe. I'll make a video when I do. Hoya meredithy over there. Hoya clementiorum, which is growing some new leaves. I don't know if you can see here. There's a new leaf. And then this is Hoya finlaysoni, also growing. And some cuttings that were doing horrible in the terrarium. I potted them up, but I don't think they're gonna make it. Same with this little one, came out of the terrarium, not doing great. Oh, and this one, this is doing well. I don't remember the name. I got it from a friend and it's some kind of variegated, I don't know, I forgot, but it's doing okay. One of my favorites of all time, Hoya Heuschkeliana variegata, showing some signs of struggle, but still growing really well because it's an awesome plant. Highly recommend this one. This here is my adorable little pink flowering Thomsoni, which was very slow at first, but it's starting to do better now. There's new leaves here. There's a few tendrils now that also showed signs of struggle, but it's okay. We're gonna make it through. This is Hoya aliona. That used to have a different name, got reclassified, not doing anything. So that's really a theme. A lot of the Hoya are not doing anything. This is Hoya finlaysoni, getting sun stressed, but not growing. Then we have my cute pot of Hoya bella lidabuis and Hoya bella anacabuis. And as you can see, oh, there's one of the good bugs. Careful. Hello, buddy. That's one of the ones that eat mealybugs. So maybe I should move that over to the linearis. This is a lot bigger than the inner variegated one. I got them the same size, but the growth strength and speed is very different. Down here we have Hoya obscura, also hasn't grown in months. And the main plant of the finlaysoni that I love. This one has grown a bit, but then again, you see, there's a new stem and then it dies back. That's how it goes with flat mites. These are a few more begonia propagations. I think they are all begonia raja, except this one. This is a pink begonia. I think begonia negrosensis. So I'm happy that I have a little baby of that. From the shelves, let's head over to the big terrarium. I've done a few videos on this place recently, so if you want to see it more up close, you can. But just a few of the highlights. This is my new forgetti that I planted in here recently. There's a bunch of beautiful Hoya and terrarium plants. Hoya Thomsoni with the white flowers is growing. Look, we have a new leaf. A few new leaves. First one since it started to grow in here. This tiny little baby has a flower. This is a little Masdevallia orchid. Nidis something red. Atapapuense is really attaching to the wall. Look at all those roots. It loves it here now with the humidity a bit higher. It's very big as well and nice. This is Hoya. Am I saying Hoya for everything? Okay, this is Philodendron Glorious. That is growing big and strong. We have some Calathea. These are the only Calathea in my collection. We have Calathea. Not Obovata, that's the Hoya. Ovata, I think, maybe. And this is Calathea Warsawicki, or however you pronounce that. It's a really soft, velvety one. Oh, it's covered in good bugs. Look at that. Whoa, nice. I just put fresh bags in here just in case. A lot of crawlers and stuff. You'll have to check the terrarium videos to see all of it up close. But there is a bunch of cool... Oh no, new leaf broke off of this. Begonia. This is one of my favorite begonias. This is Hoya. Begonia guguensis. We have these beautiful Labicia. Yeah, for all of the details, you'll have to check the terrarium videos. I have a queen in here again. This is my main queen, Cleo, that was struggling a lot before. And down there, we have a little Anthurium hybrid that is also new in here. Oh, and of course, beautiful Hoya that are struggling as well with flat mite damage. Lastly, in the kitchen, we have a few plants here that I'm planning to give away to friends. That's why they're here. So we have some Obliqua Bolivian form. We have a Hoya, my Hoya, Obovata, so my Ollie, that has struggled, but I'm hoping in spring it will start to come back. I have some Hoya that I'm giving away. They're duplicates of what I already have. And my Stefania erecta, which has not grown in 1.5 years at least. Then we have my Anthurium Velvet Mask, which I'm not giving away. I love this one, but it came out of this box because I moved something else in. So I think I'm gonna acclimate this to the living room because I have to, because I don't have a space in a box for it anymore. It got too big for a box, but it's beautiful. I think it will have to start to live here and hopefully be happy in a nice pot instead of a grow box. Okay, back to the kitchen table. We have some yellow or browning leaves. That's normal. This is my main Obliqua that also had to move out of the box to make space for these plants. And in here we have 3 of my favorites. We have my Melanochrysum. I'm not going to take them out. I took them out for the terrarium video. Melanochrysum on a moss pole. We have my Regale Reggie behind there, and then a new queen baby that was too big for the small terrarium, so it's moved to this box instead so the leaf can fully grow. Do you see how long that already is? So if you want to see more, check my other videos. My bathroom gets very cold. It's not cold outside right now, so it's 13 degrees in here, but it does get down to 5 degrees, and sometimes we have ice on this window. All I have here right now are very cute pings. These are all babies of the same plant, so it's all the same, but very adorable. Look, I made some babies. Just need some water. I also had a little jewel orchid here that needs a little bit more of cold. The Japan one, Japan, but it doesn't look super happy. And then we had Mycans here, and this I think got too cold because philodendron don't like 5 degrees. So this is, yeah, this is another corner that's not doing well. I also have a bunch of plants in the greenhouse, but I'm not going to go outside and show you them. If you want to see them, you'll have to check the greenhouse videos. By the way, it's blue sky today. Whoa! Like I said, I still have COVID, so I'm coughing in between filming and I don't have a lot of energy yet. So that's why it's going a little bit faster than my previous home tours. Also because a lot of the plants actually look quite sad. Luckily, we're now in the living room where most of my beautiful happy plants are, because this is where I am most of the time. And I want to look at the happy plants and not at the sad plants. Hey, Mick? Yes. Oh. So let's see. On this side is my boyfriend's self-made surfboard. He's amazing. He has a channel if you want to see it. G-Foils. I'll link it. I stopped putting plants here. I had some plants here before, but they just were not getting enough light. So all we have now is... Then over here we have my stack of Planty books by all my friends, and my beautiful Anthurium crystallinum that seems to have adjusted to living room temperatures, but also especially humidity. It's right above our heater, and still it grew this leaf. A little bit smaller than the last one in the box, but yay, it's awesome. We have my little Hoya lacunosa. Well, it's not little, look how long it is. This is an awesome plant. I ignore it, and it flowers and it grows. So I love that. Under my grow light, we have a few new plants. We changed this setup quite a lot recently. This is a Soltec light, by the way. I really like the Soltec lights. I've been testing this one out for a year or so now. They're very high quality, but they're also a little bit more pricey. Luckily, I have a code with them. If you use the code PLANTWITHROSE, you will get a 15% discount on these lights and any of their lights. As you can see, it's beautifully made. It's also very bright. Look at that. So it's giving your plant a lot without being that annoying bluish light. It's a little bit more warm than my other grow lights. So I'm really happy with it. I'm happy they're working with me and I recommend it. There are 3 plants under here. The biggest one is Caspar, the Florida ghost. That is struggling a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look great with the cold and the winter. But I think in spring, I'm gonna make this into a lot of small Caspar babies, and then we can share it with each other, and I can keep a small one because this is so big. I want it smaller. There are other plants that I would prefer to grow very big, like this one. This is Spencer the Splendid, which also struggled with the cold. Here you can see this leaf came out in the cold. We had like a week or 2 of freezing temperatures and it just didn't like it, but the cuttings are growing. There's 3 plants in here now, and I think it's going to be, look, there's the 3rd point. I think it's going to be very nice in spring once it gets a little bit warmer, and now it has the good light as well. It recently moved here. Then we have the Watsoniana alocasia, and they are surprisingly happy compared to all my other alocasia. The Watsoniana are the ones that are battling through winter like a champ. So that's this little corner. Then we have my little terrarium. Also, by the way, I got this for Sinterklaas, which is the holiday here where we give gifts. Plant bingo, it's a very fun game. So I'm hoping to play this with my Patreons this month, but also at a meetup, because I'm going to be organizing a meetup, hopefully this spring, so we can all hang out together, do Planty games, go to a Planty shop, and hang out. In the small terrarium, let's see, I recently put out some good bugs, which I also have a video about, but we have a glorious here that I moved in my previous video. We have a Brontianum at the bottom there. Can you see it? There. Hoyas are in the way. Then there's some Hoya that are struggling a lot. I don't exactly know what they are. They didn't have labels. This is some kind of hybrid between Meredithy and Grassicaulis, I think. And this is Hoya Michele with a lot of splash that is growing a new leaf. This is my baby Hoya Carey that I'm very excited to grow. This is like a velvet Hoya. It's a very cool one if you don't know. My main Clemenciorum that is growing really well, even in this box with flat mites. This one they seem to not like. In the back there is Hoya Waimanie, which is a beautiful Hoya. I love this one a lot. And it also seems to not struggle too much. It's growing. Then we have my big Hoya Meredithy. This one is still doing well, but not growing. It's definitely struggling with signs of flat mites. The one tendril in the back there, I don't know if I can show you. Yes, that is the splashy, oh, what is the name? Does anyone know the name? Crossipetiolata splash? There, you can see it from this side better maybe. Then on this side as well, we have the Peninsularis that is struggling. We have my Hoya Rinci Borneo that is struggling. We have a little Melanochrysum philodendron that is not struggling. Yay! One plant that is not struggling. I think it's because the flat mites don't like philodendron as much as Hoya. Down here we have my beautiful Florida Beauty, but it's growing quite yellow leaves. Look, there's 2 yellow leaves on this side. Hopefully the next one will have nice variegation again. We have the pot of gold, variegated latifolia, that seems to not struggle too much. Some of the smaller babies are struggling. I zoomed in with my microscope and it was disgusting, but it's okay. We're ignoring it for now. Then we have the Nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost over here. I took cuttings because I thought my plants are not growing. Something is wrong. they didn't have roots anymore, but also they had flat mites and I had no idea. Lastly, we have this beautiful terrarium king of spades in here. Look at this color, it's so pretty. I think that's all of them in the small terrarium. Then we have some of my Planty posters and hanging thingies and my vision board from last year. I haven't made a new one yet because I've been sick since the end of last year, so I have been sleeping more and not doing fun things like that. In these shelves, which are also very messy looking, I'm hoping to make this a lot nicer next year. I do like the lights, but the rest is a bit messy. We have my yellow variegated Michaelitiana Mexkowski. You can't see it very well, but the sun is coming out, so maybe that is helping. Here's another leaf where you can see it a little bit better. It's doing well. Hoya. What is this again? Hoya. I have no idea. I feel like because I'm tired and my brain is tired double now with COVID and my brain injury, some names are just disappearing on me. Courtesy! Hoya Courtesy. So this is my very small pot with a very long Hoya Courtesy. The Thailand one. I think this needs some water. You can see the leaves look a little bit dehydrated, but it's growing well. We have Alocasia Ninja, which is also still looking pretty good compared to some other Alocasia that I have showed you already. We have my Syngonium Silver, no, what is it? Grey Ghost. That's also fine. Not amazing right now, but it will be again in spring. And then my second Watsoniana. Look at this. Oh, look how many leaves as well. These came out in winter, so it's going okay. Pot of Hoya up there. That's the Hoya Sunrise and Hoya David Cummingy, which flowers often. And then down here is the Alocasia that I recently bought. This is the Dragon Scale with the variegated leaf. And of course also a yellowing leaf because it's winter and Alocasia like to do that. Some of these don't look amazing. They're curling up and the new growth has dried up. So we'll have to wait for spring for the next leaf. Okay, we're almost there. Telling myself because I need a rest. We have my Maranta Kerchoviana. I really like this one, but it's been struggling a lot. So I don't know. It might have to go. Back here is Vicky the Varicosum, which I've been, trying to air layer, but this has been getting too dry, so it's not been successful. I want to air layer it because this is what happens. The bottom gets no leaves, ugly, and it just doesn't look nice. I prefer to have a full pot with leaves and not just a bare stem. The second hanger that we have here, this is another Hoya Thomsoni. This one has pink flowers. I know from the person who gave me a cutting, and it has a lot of splash. It's a really nice plant because it's so quick to grow, and normally Thomsoni can be quite difficult and slow and annoying. It actually even has a peduncle so far, so this is my quickest growing version of Thomsoni. Oh, look at my sweet little baby Mickey. The next hanging plant is this one. This is a pot combination pot. So we have Hoya Species Affinity Bertoni over here. This is flowering actually, so it's very cute. And I think this is the real Bilobata, which a lot of Bertoni are actually mislabeled Bilobata. And there's also a Huschkeliana, regular one in here, so maybe I'm confusing them. And then there is a Huschkeliana variegata in here as well. And it's growing well. I do see some not so good growth, so I'm guessing some mites got the best of that, but in general it's okay. And then behind there we have my Hoya Wayeti, right next to baby Mickey. Oh. This one, I don't know. It looks great. I love it a lot, but it has been dropping leaves from the base of the plant a lot this winter. Like there's a lot of just dead growth points and leaves. I'll have to check it in spring, but I feel like it needs a rescue or a restart maybe, because otherwise it still looks good, but it's just doesn't seem very happy. What does seem happy is my little Maggie on the sofa. There is this big Alocasia Zebrina variegata. This is a yellow variegated Zebrina that I have 2 in one pot. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot of variegation at the moment, mostly because the very yellow leaves have died off, but I think it will come back in spring. I have faith in my Alocasia, some of them. Up here are 3 plants. The first one is one that you may not have seen before because I bought it. I don't think I've shown it on YouTube yet. I have never grown Scindapsus before. This is my first one. Can you believe it? I know this is a favorite for a lot of people. I just was never into them until I saw this specific one in a shop and I got it. So far, I don't really know what to say. I don't really notice it because it's winter and it's not growing a lot, but it is very cute and I still think it's very beautiful. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it and see what happens in spring. Hoping to find this a hanging spot, maybe instead of some other plants that are struggling. Ooh, the next one up there is one of my pots of baby monsteras. I kept these from the sale previously because they were so white, but as you can see, they found a nice balance. There's 2 plants in here, so as soon as it's warm enough to ship in spring, probably March, April, I'm gonna be selling these because how many variegated monstera does one person need? Not this many. And the other pot is also variegated monstera. This is cuttings of Ferry, my big plant. And I have 1, 2, 3 in here that also desperately could use a repot. They're not sizing up as much because probably it's very crowded in this pot, but I'm gonna wait until spring and then I can separate them and sell them as well. I think that will make them happier. And I think some of you might also want a piece of Ferry. But I love these babies. They were so fast to grow compared to some of the cuttings that did have leaves. These were wet stick cuttings and I love them. I'm so happy I kept them and they brought me a lot of joy. They're still bringing me a lot of joy now. Let's see. One of the plants that has been struggling is my yellow variegated syngonium. I love it so much. Actually, this one looks great. The variegation looks balanced on this, but other pieces have gone fully green or fully yellow. The top had gone fully yellow, so that's why I cut it back. And we now have the first new leaf here. Well, at least it doesn't look fully yellow. With yellow variegation, it is called Polaroid variegation. So when a new leaf comes out, it just looks one color. Or if you look very closely, sometimes you can see a little bit. And then slowly the green will come in like a Polaroid picture. You never know. It's really fun. It's an extra level of fun compared to white variegation. And this is my microscope. I have it linked. It's very useful to see very, very up close, especially with these flat mites that are super small. I just click it into my computer and I can see them, even though it's a struggle to get them in frame and get it, focused. It's very helpful. Okay, let's move on to some of my long pots. A lot of you have asked me where I get them. These are from Elho. They're called the Greenville Trough and they are outdoor planters, but I like to use them for indoors. This is my lemon lime philodendron, and these are 2 of my gloriosum philodendron with, of course, another yellow leaf down there. It's normal, it's an old leaf. It's the oldest leaf on the stem, so I'm not worried. In general, these are so easy to grow and so fun to grow. Look at the beautiful big velvety leaves. The second plant is this one. It's a bit smaller and it's growing another leaf here. Look at that. Nice. So I really like this. And I'm thinking because these are well rooted, I could even make cuts to activate new growth on the base of the plant so that it won't be a pot of just a bare stem, because there are some old leaves that definitely died off here. I love this one so much. I'm so happy my friends gave these to me. I'm lucky. And as you can tell, I'm moving things over to the table because if I show you this way, it just doesn't show as well because we're looking at the back of the plants. But maybe for this one, I can try and do that. This is my pastazanum covered in cat hair, as always, sticking to the mealybug stuff. No, I'm gonna move it to the table so you can see better. See, this is much more fun. So this is the pastazanum, which looks pretty bad, even though just don't look up close too much. I want to spray them down, but I just put good bugs out, so I'm gonna leave it. And this is my Plaumani with 2 leaves. The newest one is really beautiful and nice. And I love pastazanum, especially because of the ruffled petioles. It's like a little skirt, so beautiful. Also, so perfect to see bugs. Can you see that? There's a ton of bugs hanging out there. If you don't know, I use good bugs like these and also other types to prevent or treat bad bugs. And these baggies are filled not just with the predatory mites, in this case, Swirsky mites that work against thrips and mites, but also feeder mites. That's why these baggies are so handy. They don't just come with the good bugs, also they have some feed for if you don't have that many. so it can work as a preventative method as well. But sometimes in my case, because my house is quite humid, the feeder mites start to run around. Like in the terrarium, like I showed you, those are not all predatory mites. They are usually the feeder mites. So I'm not too worried about seeing that. And I have just put fresh good bugs. That's why I'm not freaking out. Also, I don't have energy to freak out. I need a nap soon. Here you can see, this is why I wanted to turn the pot around so you can see better. This is a new leaf of my Plaumani, which looks really good actually. Looks nice, especially when you compare it to the new leaf on my Pastazanum, which got too cold in that cold period and it was very close to the window, so it just looks really horrible. Oh, and we have the dead flower here. My Plaumani flowered, so that needs to be thrown away. This is the neon philodendron, the heart-shaped leaf one. It's adorable. I let it crawl around here. And that's it for this pot. 5 more plants to go. So the first one is this baby Florida Ghost, which actually looks so much better than my big one because it has the actual white coming in, quite creamy white, and then slowly turning green and minty. It has several growth points as well. So this is a happy little plant. And the Hoya Gunungading, which you can see some good bug and also a lot of bad bug damage. This one has, oh, the other side is much nicer. Look at that. That is the good side. It seems to keep budding up. I think because of the mealybugs on this one, it might not make it through yet. But look, new growth. I think this one is going to be okay. It doesn't show as much of the non-growthy damage as some of the other Hoya. Then we have Luna, my half-moon monstera, and generally I know that is not a thing. Also, you can see here it's never always half-moon, but in general she's been really good with growing half-moon leaves. And if you don't know, browning on the white parts or the yellow parts of variegated plants is completely normal. It's normal, it's normal. I'm saying it in every video so that everyone will understand. This was the top cutting that I kept for myself. It has not yet grown a new leaf, but it has grown a lot of roots. So I think it's gonna be okay. And I can feel here that it's a little bit more white. It's like a pregnant belly. Maybe this way you can see it a little bit better. It's starting to show signs of a new leaf coming out, but not yet. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer. I kept the best for last, of course. This is Ferry, my big variegated monstera. Actually, it's not as big as it used to be. It was as tall as me. I chopped it back and now we have a nice full pot with 4 cuttings in here. And the main parts that you see are actually all the mother plant, the base of the plant, which grew much more quickly than any of the other parts. Then on this side, there's a new leaf on the way here. Less holes than I'm used to, but that's okay because it's winter. That is the top cutting, which looks really nice. Down here, can you see? Let's see, it's this leaf, I think. That's the cutting. It was a smaller cutting that took forever to grow. I cut this in April and it is now grown 1 leaf. It's January, so that took forever. Here is the profil, the first little bit that came out, and then the first leaf. It does look beautiful, so I'm really happy that this finally did start to grow. I think it's because of the lack of light. Can you see how little light it gets because of all the other leaves? And then lastly, on the back here, this is the stem of the mother plant, the base of the plant, so it's already quite tall. And then this little one is the last cutting. This was almost as slow as the other baby. That was a 1-node cutting I potted in here, and it's grown this stunning leaf, so definitely worth the wait. This is the stem of the top cutting that had 3 leaves, so it's grown about 2 leaves. It's working on the 3rd, I think, since I cut them. So they have been much slower. If you want a quick plant, buy a base plant. I love how it looks now, so full. There is some browning, of course, but in general, it just looks really nice on all sides. And the mother plant also has a lot of white, so I like that. And the last plant of this video is my incredible Thijs, the Thai constellation, with a lot of half-moon variegated leaves, or kind of like, let's just call it big patches of sectoral variegation. And what happens with that is that they brown and die off. So you sometimes have half leaves left, but I'm okay with that. Look at behind here is the latest leaf. How beautiful is that? I love it. And then here is the not so variegated one that's just even bigger. Look at this thick stem, by the way. He's really cool. I propped some moss under there to just keep aerial roots activating and growing so that it has nice support. And then here is the new leaf it's working on. So even in winter, it's growing a new leaf. It's going quite slow. These can take so long to come out, but I'm trying to be patient and not touch it too much because that can ruin it. Look, the behind here of this leaf. It's so beautiful. I love it. And that is all my plants right now at the start of 2023. I know I don't do these videos very often because they can take so long and they feel very overwhelming to just show all the plants. But since I am feeling a little bit better, but I can't leave the house yet with this COVID thing, I thought it's the perfect time to just do it, show you all of my plants, all my babies. I'm so happy with my collection, even though a lot of it is struggling right now, as you can see, and I have a lot of pest issues. But that is part of having plants and I'm happy I have them. They bring me joy, especially when I'm home alone, sick, and not able to leave the house. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe below if you haven't already for more Planty videos. I will link a few fun ones. I always post on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Dutch time, so that's early morning US time. And I like to do premieres so that we can have a chat. So if you enjoy that, come and check it out live. And thanks so much. Bye, friends. I always plant in my mouth 2 leaves and Jesus Christ.